afternoon. Welcome to Lunch and Arbor Marketing. Everybody doing okay today? Staying warm? Staying warm? Yeah, we thought we had spring, but then we get snow. I think spring is coming. I think next week it's supposed to be, so next Wednesday it's supposed to be warm. So my name is Derek Marabon, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing, and I am up here with Stacy Collett from Dollar Bill Printing, which is a digital printing house in Ann Arbor. And yeah, we're here at LA2M, so welcome. Is there any first-timers here? Any first-time LA2M folks? Okay, I saw a few first-timers, so welcome. Welcome, people. I see you're getting your orders. That's great. Just so you know, it is free to attend LA2M, which is great. So it's always free to come. If you want lunch, it's $10. That goes to Conor O'Neill's, and that covers lunch, drink, and tip. You're always welcome to tip extra, but that's a deal we worked out with Conor's. And LA2M is a 501c3 educational nonprofit, so we focus on marketing education. So we have these free programs every week. We do, well, I think we try and do a lot of good in the community. We're a volunteer-based organization, and we pass the hat, so we're old school. So if you want to help support LA2M, we welcome, if you want to throw in a 5-spot or a couple bucks, whatever you can afford, we just pass the hat, no pressure. So again, you can attend for free, but if you want to help pay for what we do, then throw some money in the hat. And Stacy's our treasurer, that's why she's always up here, because she takes the money to the bank. Yeah. And we use that money to pay for like Mary Lou, who's our one employee who does a lot of work for us, and we cover other hard costs. So, what else? We have a t-shirt. We give our speaker a t-shirt. You could buy one. They're $15. We have a t-shirt. I guess I'm going to give it to Leslie today. All right, we're going to take a quick picture with our speaker and the t-shirt. All right, thanks. That's for you. Oh. You're welcome to gift it or wear it. And LA2M also has sponsors. So every month, a different organization sponsors. We really appreciate it. And this month we have Tom Crawford of Biz Network. And I usually get to say a couple words to the group.
Hey everybody, I am Tom Crawford. You'll find on your table a little card about an event that we have coming up. How many people in the room have to communicate something today to somebody else? Yeah. How many people would love to do that better, to help them get it faster, easier? Well, for those of you who are looking for a way to do that, this is the event for you. It's extremely inexpensive. It's $125 in Birmingham, so not too far away. It's a Saturday, so you don't have to take time off work. And we're bringing in over a dozen speakers to come in and from all over the country who are experts in visual literacy, visual thinking, and visual communication to help you learn how to think, plan, organize, and communicate more effectively. So there's a great list of people, and today only, if you sign up, you go to visliteracy.com and put in LA2M, you get $50 off that price. So it's today only $75 for people who are here. So please sign up right away.
Thank you, Tom. And Tom is also a wonderful app developer. He built the Happy Hour app. How many people have downloaded the Happy Hour app so far? Okay, good. Make sure to do it if you're looking for drinks and deals and happy hour, because we all like to be happy, especially when it's snowy out. I'd also like to mention we have celebrity sighting in the room. Celebrity sighting. Ed Vilmetti is here from A2B3. There he is in the back. And A2B3, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard, is the preeminent geek group in Ann Arbor. And it's a lunch. It stands for Ann Arbor Bibimbap. And they've been meeting over on 4th Street at Eastern Accents for years. And tomorrow is the final meeting of A2B3 at Eastern Accents, because Eastern Accents is closing, which really stinks, because they have great bibimbap. So tomorrow, I imagine it's going to be quite a crowd over at A2B3 lunch. Actually, Ed and A2B3 inspired LA2M, because I used to always go to A2B3, and I realized, hey, there's a real opportunity here. And I also realized that I was a marketing person, and the people there are really computer people and all this, and so it was different. So I said, hey, there's an opportunity for another lunch. Let's do it on Wednesday. I consulted with Ed. He told me his secret to success, and look what we've done. This is 5 years now. LA2M is great success. And Conor's is not going to lose their lease, so we're not going to have to move. A2B3, I think, is going to move from spot to spot for a while, right, Ed?
Yeah, the plan is to make a tour again.
Yeah, so they're going to start touring the bibimbap spots. And so anyways, if you want to come out to A2B3 tomorrow at Eastern Accents, I'm going to try and be there. All right, so enough BSing. I'm going to introduce our speaker. She's going to talk for 30 minutes. She's going to enlighten you all so you can achieve enlightenment in the next 30 minutes. There may be time for questions. And then at 12:45, you all get a chance to introduce yourselves, which is great. Because I know there's some business people in the room. You want to talk about your businesses. I heard of an exciting new business. Adrienne from Grand Rapids has a new furniture company for small companies, and she's here so she can talk about that. You'll all get to introduce yourselves. But first, we're going to be enlightened by Leslie from Let's Go Social Media Marketing, and she's going to be talking about becoming a social solopreneur. So if you could please welcome Leslie with a warm round of applause. Let's give her
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. If anybody can't hear me, just raise your hand. Okay, good. So my name, as you said, is Leslie McGraw, and so I'm not new to entrepreneurship, but my business, Let's Go Social Media Marketing and Training, is a little different because it's actually, I am the face of the business. So it's not, I'm not selling, a burger to the side or anything. We're intertwined. And so I found that, the first thing I did, I wanted to be educated because I'm a learner. Larita Thomas, who's the HR person over at U of M, her favorite line is, learners are leaders. And so that's what I wanted to do, this go around, is to make sure that I went to everything we could learn about small business. And so I quickly drained my account going to all these small business seminars and realized they weren't talking to me. They were talking to small, as in, not Walmart. So, and so I started looking around, and a lot of the idea of what is considered small business has to do with federal and state guidelines, right? So the Small Business Administration sets that pace. So a small business, depending on what industry you work in, could be up to 150 employees. So that's not exactly what you might think of when you think of small business. So, today, this is kind of who I'm thinking about when I was thinking about what I wanted to share in these couple of minutes with you. First of all, small biz is usually linked to a business or a product. So, we were just talking about Eastern accents. That would be a good example of a small business. Entrepreneur is usually linked to their business. So my favorite entrepreneur of all time is J.C. Penney. I don't know if any of you followed the story of J.C. Penney, but he was a millionaire twice and close to being a millionaire a third time. The first time he came close, then the second two times he actually succeeded, and then the Great Depression depleted him. The first time he became a millionaire, to the point they came and repossessed the lamps out of his home. Yeah, and he kept going. So every time he had like a different little business model, he sold different things, but he was really an entrepreneur and grew to a much bigger entity, which, we'll call J.C. Penney this day. Also the entrepreneur, which is linked to their company or product or, the industry. The example would be, I have a former coworker named John Antos, and he is an engineer. Well, he's a lot of things, but one thing is he's an engineer. So he worked 30 years at that corporation, and so he patented all these different things, right? So, he patented it, but under Thetford, so they're kind of like intertwined. So that's your entrepreneur. And then the social entrepreneur is a growing but still new concept in some parts, and it's linked to your cause. So maybe you make eco-friendly hand warmers or whatever, but it has a social good component. And finally, which in 30 minutes I have to choose one person one profile to hone in on, is a solopreneur. So everyone will leave away with something, but I'm really targeting or talking today about the solopreneur. And so that person is linked to their talent. And so it becomes very personal. So an example of that would be a DJ or a artist, a painter, a mechanic, you know, where you say, oh, you know, you already kind of know, so they're good with their hands, right? So, you might have questions. How many people out here consider themselves a solopreneur, by the way? Okay, so about 40%. And I did not say I was good at math, but it looks like 40%. Is going to put a disclaimer. So, Solopreneur Advantage number 9 is that the solopreneur brand begins at birth. So, unlike, you know, the branding that we all hear about, you know, make your professional brand, your image, that you have to kind of, you know, bake inside of a incubator or a boardroom, you already start. The solopreneur starts their brand at birth. So through personality, through, you know, likes and things, and what they are teach, or you know, what they learn to be good at. So whether they're good with their hands, or whether they're good with numbers, you know, or good at good people skills, that all comes through. And so you don't, the image that you have, that's why I've had clients say, oh, I need to work on my brand or my image. And so they want to give me some money and then me come back and tell them what their image is. And so how many people do think that works? So, and this is what I have to say, and it stings because, you know, part of, you know, like, oh, okay, let me just get this money, but I can't do that because I'm a solopreneur, and so I have to stay true to myself. And so I say, I have to learn who you are. That has to come out, or it won't be successful, because you are part of your product. Solopreneur Advantage number 8. And this, I think, is the most important one, but they're all important, is personal and professional development are inextricably linked. So as you build up your business, or your, you know, your professional services, your consulting business, whatever it is, you build up yourself. So I found out that as I become better at, or my business builds, I become better with time management or discipline or focus, or like I have to spend time every day like journaling, or like taking time for myself in order to have the kind of tenacity and the, you know, to hear the 1,000 no's you might hear, you know. You can't go that with, you know, baby doll feelings, you know. You can't go knock on doors or whatever. So, and as you get better, your business gets better. As your business gets better, you get better. Like there's this continuous cycle. Solopreneur Advantage number 7. People want to know about your biz because it's a part of you, right? So unlike, you know, my first endeavor was at 18, I tried to sell knives. And you know, if I even like to cook like that, I wouldn't probably invest in knives in that way, not at the $1,000 level. And so I thought they were really nice knives. They are the best in the biz. It's just not me. You know what I mean? People don't see me as, you know, Ginsu less or whatever, you know? And so it was difficult. It felt like work. Whereas, and so to the point, I knew I was in too deep when a couple people avoided me at church. So, so now people ask me, you know, one day, like, I got off from church, and now I'm thinking my pastor said, hey, let's go, what's going on? I was like, what? You can't call me that. You know, but it fits, you know, and so immediately I knew it was a good fit when, you know, that's what I hear from friends and clients. I've had like a lot of so I started officially in September, but I did a beta for about a year first. And what I continue to hear from ex-coworkers or, you know, former coworkers and clients is that that I bring myself to the table. So the same things and qualities that they like about me is what they get out, the value that they get out of the product that I sell. So so networking looks different for the solopreneur, right? So this is networking. You can still do the thing now of making contacts at networking events. It's still important to do that. But this is also networking. So at your leisure time, you'll find people want to know, what have you been up to? How's your business going? Right? And you might say, you're a lawyer. You don't need anything I'm selling. But that lawyer comes in contact with how many people every day? So they're asking you for a reason. They want to know about your business, about you. Because they can say, they may not be able to recite your whole mission statement of your business, but they can recite all the qualities and strengths they know about you as a friend. And this is still networking. Yeah, I said it, take the whole city on by storm. Don't be afraid of the no, because there's still people that want to know the story. So one of my clients, the newer client, is LA2M, which is the entrepreneur storytelling competition that's held the last Thursday of every month over at Lives. And it's a perfect fit, right? Because that's what people want to know. They don't want to know that you sell marketing services. They want to know why you sell marketing services, right? They want to know the story. So, I don't particularly like granola, but I actually bought my first little bag granola because I like Ronnie's granola. She has this beautiful story about how she went there with plastic bags and, baggies with all these little flavors, and then a year later she's in Kroger's. That's fascinating to me, right? Solopreneur advantage number 6. People love feeling like they are part of the process. So think weddings, even before you think of the business side of it. Think weddings. How many people love, you've heard people brag, say, I have 4 weddings I'm invited to this spring. I don't know if I can make them all. Or, I have friends that, are celebrating their 64th wedding anniversary or whatever. They kind of take it on okay, never mind that I've been married and divorced 5 times, but my friends, have been married for 64 years. So I take on a little pride about just having that in my network. So the same thing, when people you give them a little part of your process as you are building your business, people feel like they can boast about you, they can brag about you. So I am a part of a couple writers groups, for instance, and every time a writer publishes a book or gets an agent or anything like that, there's always, I see there's a pride, especially with the members that come regularly. They say, our group has 3 published authors. Not that I'm a published author, I'm a published author, but they take that all on as the group. Solopreneur advantage number 5. You can get started, guess when? When can you get started? Now. You don't have to wait for the CMO and the CFO and the CEO and, for somebody that, needs to run across to California to check on her grandmother. No, you can get started now. You could, take one less French fry and pull out your business card at the end of the session today, right? There's always something that you can do a little bit more of. And that's kind of the philosophy of Let's Go, is I am a recovering, my name is Leslie, and I am a recovering procrastinator. So I know that if I wait for it to be perfect, it will never happen, okay? So I have to get started now on everything. If I want it, I plan it out, and then I have to just take action. and everybody, if you were a big business, that would be hard to do. So Solopreneur advantage number 4, you can make mistakes. So think that. If you don't want to say it out loud, say it to yourself. Tell yourself right now, I can make a mistake. It's okay.
I can make mistakes.
Right, I can make a mistake. And I can stop and I can readjust. And so, like, so, and I think of it, everything I always think of examples. I went through business school, or I went through business management, but I didn't get a traditional marketing degree. And so everything I learned along the way, I always have to attach it. That's how I learn. I attach it to outside experiences or outside theories or concepts. So when I think of making mistakes, I think of having our family, when we would go places, like if it was unfortunately, usually it would be like a funeral, or if there was a vacation, there'd be a caravan, if you will, that would go across the interstate. So you got 5, 6 vans of people. And so if you leave the head honcho in the first car, then everyone's following you. And for some reason, you always put the person that does not know directions in that first car. so then you realize, okay, I need to swerve off. And then there's this whole powwow, and now that you stop, somebody's kid needs to use the restroom. And it's a big mess. You made a mistake, and now you have to coordinate amongst 30 people. Whereas when you're a smaller, little nimble business, you think about it, it's like having a single van. You can swerve off and say, okay, I need to ask for directions. Or you can just shoulder off and pull out your GPS or your phone and then get right back on course. So the solopreneur model is a little bit more forgiving. Solopreneur advantage number 3, you can be a part of a community. So I've noticed that, going to all these conferences that, I'm also a recovering conference participant, yes, is going to the conferences, the people that are presenting, sometimes you have them try to come and be a part of the crowd, and it never works out, right? Because people already see you up here. You can't just be like, part of it. So, we had Darden here, from Red Lobsters and Olive Garden. To me, he's like top celebrity. And if he was here, he couldn't just sit and talk to us about what we think about Red Lobsters and Olive Garden and, whatever restaurants he has. We couldn't just talk about that freely, because we'd be kind of posturing for him. You'd want to hear about him. How did you get started? All that kind of stuff. Whereas when you're a solopreneur, people kind of see you at eye level, and so that you can get real feedback. I'd say one of the most valuable things that I've received from not only prospects but clients and community members is the feedback. I get immediate feedback. I don't have to, it'd be nice, I don't have to get a survey going. People tell me right away, I did not like that picture you posted. And they do not mince words. They do not bite tongues. Because, they'll see me up here. And so sometimes that's good, and sometimes it takes tough skin, but it helps in the long run, right? Solopreneur advantage number 2, you can drown out the noise. Okay, you can. I know it's hard. You might think, I have as much to do as Oprah. It feels like it, but you can. Trust me, you can drown out the noise. So you can say, I'm going to this networking conference, and I look at, ahead of time, who's going. I want to meet up with these 3 people that we have LinkedIn on, or we've connected on LinkedIn, right? So, but I've never met them in person. They're going to be at this conference. So I want to make sure I meet with them and have a little conversation and an official meet with them. Like, so you can have real goals and you can go do that. Whereas if you're kind of a bigger organization, then you don't have that flexibility all the time. Sometimes you do, but you don't always have that flexibility. Also online, you can drown out the noise because you can hone in on the list that you want to target. So, and you actually know. So you know who your community is. If you were Walmart, for instance, you wouldn't necessarily know who to target in Ann Arbor, right? But like me, my family's been here since 1939. And so I know this community pretty well. Like I know the businesses that are here now, and I know the businesses like for the last 30 years, and I'm only a call from my grandma away to know the business that was there in 1940. And she will tell you all about it. And so that kind of gives me perspective. And, you know, okay, so sometimes it is the location. Like there might have been a string of businesses on that same block that all went bad or all were good, right? Solopreneur advantage number 1, you can use social and professional networking sites online to build your online community. So, you know, you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm going to blend my personal and my professional life because I have a secret. If you're a solopreneur, you already have. Trust me. People, you might say, oh, right now I'm in my professional mode. Right now I'm in my social mode. Don't get it wrong. Don't start dancing on tables yet because someone is in that room is looking at you professionally. And someone, you know, professionally, or you in a professional setting is thinking about, oh, I like to date you, or I'd like to go to coffee with you. They're thinking about you socially. There's the blur, because you were connected to the product or the service that you're providing. So, one second. I know.
Mistake.
I know, right?
Okay.
Roger, you haven't lost the connection ever?
No, I'm still good.
Okay.
I think.
This is where you pivot.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, at some point down the line, I'll get to the point where I can play it off without looking like, oh my God, that wasn't supposed to happen, but I'm not there yet. So, save the best for last. So, the top 3 ways, or the top 3 professional sites to do professional networking on using social media, I should say, are Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And so that's according to a survey of about 500 people on LinkedIn. But now, I want to say that because I don't know if there's a little skew in there because the survey was put out, you know, by LinkedIn. But I read how they did the survey, and it seems fair. Yeah, of course. So LinkedIn is the number 1 professional networking tool. So that's about 61% of people that are professionally networking online are using LinkedIn. So there's 200 million users. They just reached the milestone about 2 months ago. Yeah, the end of January. And all Fortune 500 companies have a rep. Not some or most, but all of the Fortune 500 companies have a representative on on LinkedIn. And that's huge because here you are, you have the ability through a second degree or first degree connection to get in a group with someone who's at the top of their business. So just because you might be a solopreneur or a home-based business or a smaller outfit doesn't mean you still can't learn from, collaborate, and co-market with bigger entities, right? So, because you might think, oh, well, they have so much to offer me. I want you to stop and reframe that and think about what you can offer them. So again, in the situation where Walmart, and I'm just using them, I'm just throwing them out because I think of them big, and my paternal side is from Texas, and so everything is about Walmart. And so if Walmart was really trying to hone in on Ann Arbor, Michigan, you as a small business could connect with them and maybe, have them sponsor an event so you could both get something out of it. You know your community better than a big outfit, okay? That's how, once you start thinking about your value, your worth, that helps you be more competitive. It was a long time that I knew I was a writer, but I didn't think that I had anything bigger than anyone else, right? And so anytime somebody said that they had a writing assignment, I said, okay, sure, I'll do it, right? And so what I found is, now I say, well, let's talk about the price a little bit here. And I got little haggling skills. I didn't even know I had those. And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they say that's too much or whatever. But the first year that I was getting paid for like blogging and that kind of thing was in 2009. And I think in the whole year I made like $3 because I would get AdSense, that kind of thing. And I looked one time and they had something like, for one of the outfits I was writing for, something like 2,000, viewers and, a couple hundred shares. I was like, I'm making other people rich, right? And so, and I'm not getting anything out of it. So now it's taken, it's a different process, but I bring myself to the negotiating table and say, hey, I know about this. And so I bring a little something extra. So like one of the outfits is Buyer Zone. So I now have connected with local telecom people to ask questions about how it works. And so that brings an extra dimension to the articles I write for Buyer Zone, right? So which helps small businesses. So now they can see how it really works out for a place in a college town. And lastly, LinkedIn users, 81% are between 25 and 65. So that's huge because most of your decision makers are going to be in that age range, right? The second biggest professional networking site is Facebook. And I know that seems like an oxymoron. It's a social media site, but it's a professional networking place. And that's just from the users. There's 1 billion users. You can't get 1 billion people in a room and tell them only talk business or only talk social, right? They're going to do what they want to do. So there's this dangerous blurring of social and professional lines. But again, if you're willing to take that plunge, which if you have a small business, you probably already have done that, it can yield big, right? Because it's not as disruptive. You have people online that are genuinely curious about what you're up to. They're genuinely curious about, why did you pick that business? Or they wait. They kind of see you on a ledge. Like even if you think you're not doing good, they wait to see you they're watching you on a ledge. And these are the kind of people some people used to call haters. And so they're waiting for you to either fall or make it back inside the window. And either way, you win, right? Because they're watching you. They're watching. And so there's some people that are waiting. If you fall in public, then that means that there are people that sympathize with what's going on. And when you get back up, not if you get back up, but when you get back up, there are people that are already glad to see you back alive and well. And so for example, one of my clients, which I can actually use her name, so I try not to use, I know it's weird and it probably makes it harder, but I try not to use the actual names of clients because they are solopreneurs. I want them to, to stand alone, but some of them want to co-brand, and that's fine too. So Karen Simpson, who's a writer, so I started her Facebook page for her and started a campaign. We worked together about, it was Mother's Day last year. I had to think about it. It was Mother's Day. And anyways, so everyone's been watching. So she's part of the same, one of the writers groups that we're part of. Everyone's watching. They're saying, well, Leslie's a writer. She's not in marketing. Like, they don't see me like that, right? So they're watching what I do with her. And like they say, oh, okay, and I don't know if that's going to work. So they're like naysayers. And now she's just made the top selling list on Amazon. She was been awarded nationally, and she's ventured out. She's an introvert, so she's ventured out in a lot of ways that she wouldn't normally have done. And so by doing that, we kind of co-branded, if you will. And so so other people in the group are now, asking me, hey, I want you to do what you did for her. And I say, well, I can't do what I did for her with you, but I can do something just for you, with you, right? And by the way, so a lot of that interaction happened on Facebook. So they were watching, they were liking, because it started on Facebook, that's where the conversations ended up being on Facebook. And the third one is Twitter. So the third largest way in which people use social media sites to do professional networking is Twitter. And so Twitter has 20.6 million active users monthly. So you have access to a lot of people, but it needs to fit your personality, and you need to know how to use it. You don't have to be perfect at it, but 87% of tweets are lost in the crowd. People don't use hashtags, they don't tag people, they don't use the relevant topics. Taking an extra minute before you post it could mean a difference between whether someone is reading it or not. Also what's cool about Twitter is it's trendy, right? So again, usually what happens in a larger corporation, so I have two clients that are a bit larger, and so they want me to send the tweet to them and review the tweet and send it back to me with, well, let's try this way, and then, let's plan that for sending it out tomorrow. What happens when you do that?
It's not immediate.
It's not immediate.
You lose your immediacy.
Yeah, you lose your immediacy. And so as a solopreneur, you can use a place like Twitter to be immediately relevant. So on the left-hand side of the screen, as you'll see, it says trends, and there's a place, a location there. So it'll either say Detroit or I don't know, it does say Kalamazoo, but I think Detroit is the only one that it shows in Michigan. Or you can say Michigan or United States or the world. and it gives you the top trending hashtags or topics for that area. And so you look, and sometimes it'll say hashtag IWD, for instance. So on Friday was International Women's Day. So I saw a lot of people saying Happy Women's Day or Happy International Women's Day or whatever they want to do. But what's in right now, taking an extra minute and saying IWD, which is what's trending, automatically puts you away from the crowd and into this little area of people that are with it, that understand what's going on, that are relevant. And when you say the IWD, then all of a sudden now you're getting retweeted, right? So I was at a conference and Donna Brazile was the speaker, and so I put the name of the conference the first time and put a hashtag because I was in a hurry, and no one read it, nothing. I mean, maybe someone did, but no one responded. And then I put the IWD the second time, and now it's retweeted. Someone sent me a message because now I'm a part of the group. I'm a part of that community about that thing. And so as a solopreneur, you have that ability to, you don't have to wait for this, levy of, or bevy of people. You can just, go ahead and look and see what's in. I'm not saying type something about every time something's trending, because then you're like an ambulance chaser, right? Looking for what's new and exciting. You want to see on that trend list if it fits with something that's important to you, right? And so, lastly, bringing it all together is, as a solopreneur, just remember that you have to have 3 parts, and that is the preparation, to kind of think it through. When I say be spontaneous, I'm not saying don't still think it through, don't still be prepared, don't do the learning, don't read, but don't get caught in that stage. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can take action. And then once you take action, do it in a way that's not zealous and not thinking, but in a way that you can continue over time, because the consistency is what seals the deal. And so, as an example, that same story with the lady, Kate, now she called me the other day. She was so excited. She was like, we did a tweet chat, her first tweet chat. And this is not a 20-year-old woman. She's, in her late 50s. And she just hosted her first tweet chat. But she had already kind of sculpted out who she wanted to be in the tweet chat, so she wasn't on there with people like chat board specialists, she was on there on Twitter with people that, were interested, had read her book, that had questions for her, all that kind of thing, and they thought it was cool. There's been a spike in sales. She said there's this huge spike in sales after since the tweet chat. And so that's how you get the ROI. It's not that you came out with something that was so slick. It was that you came out with something fresh and genuine and you on a consistent basis. And that's it. Any questions?
Alrighty, so we have time for maybe one question.
Back over.
And we got a question? Question. Okay, great.
On Facebook, how do you handle the haters, the naysayers, in a way that does not drag down your book? Do you ignore them? Do you respond? How do you handle that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hello, can you hear me? Well, so the true haters won't speak up. They're just sitting there watching because they're too dignified to say, go jump. They're not going to say jump. They're just going to wait there. And then they're, just pleasantly surprised if you happen to, fall and hurt yourself. And so, but the ones that will speak up and say something are generally not haters. Usually they're people that say, I don't understand, or I don't like something. So like one situation was, I had a client who made a comment about alcohol, and somebody felt like it was improper for her to talk about alcohol and dating in the same context because, she had her whole platform. So in that case, you just listen. You just listen to what they have to say and try to take it offline. So if you can, inbox them and just take it offline and just say, I understand what you have to say, but don't just say that, really try to understand where they're coming from. And then you probably will make a friend out of it.
We got one more quick one.
Something I've always wondered about is the hashtags. Where do you get them from? Because you just make one up. How do you know the rest of the community is using the same one you are?
Okay, so you asked about hashtags. So there's 3 ways, and the first way is to just jump out there and do your own. But I think that should be the last resort. First, go online, and like I said, on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a little box, and it has the top trends. Those are hashtags. So you can use that, and those are the top trends. Also, there's a search field at the top where you can type in a hashtag, what you're thinking about, and then it will show you a list of tweets, the most recent tweets or the most popular tweets or all tweets. You can click which one, and you decide, okay, well, I don't want to be aligned. That's not how I was thinking about that hashtag. Maybe it has a second meaning that I don't really want to be aligned with. So you can, retreat. The third way is to use a discover button. And just click on the discover button, and it shows you what is most exciting right now. And they might not use a hashtag on that one, but it's just the most exciting things that are going on. And it's usually media or journalist driven. Twitter is the #1 site for journalists and for media. So you'll see a lot of those kind of stories if you click on this. Does that answer it?
Yeah. Thank you, Leslie. So it is time for introductions. Let's say thank you again to our wonderful speakers. And we will now go around the room and pass the mic and ask you to stand up and introduce yourself and give us your name, your company, and real briefly, if you're looking for something, let everyone know. And we'll start up here in front.
Hi, I'm Pat Martz. I am Inquiry Solutions. I help companies, technical companies, design and implement technical communication that aligns with their market needs. Hi, I'm Donna Gilkey-Laven with Laven Strap. We manufacture a product for home caregivers and institutions that allow one person to gently suspend the bottom half of a person's body high enough that they can be cleaned and treated, or their limbs, which eradicates stress and pressure areas and all sorts of things that happen to people that cannot get out of bed or need their limbs lifted.
I'm Bob. Excuse me, sore throat today. I'm with Roller Solutions, a nationwide marketing company to get businesses on the internet.
Hello, I'm Derek, and I'm Laven's Michigan employee.
Hi, my name is Christina Miles, and I write and direct films, and we have a film that is being released on DVD this month. You're all warmly welcome to come and join us. It happens to be on my birthday, March 30th, 6 o'clock at Elmo's Hideaway. So we're going to be showing the film, and it'll be available there for $15 on DVD. So it's an 18-year project that is finally coming to fruition, so I'm very happy about that. And the other thing that I do is I teach acting to salespeople across the nation.
I'm Brent Hemingway, and I'm with Elmo's T-shirts just down the road on Main Street. We are we creatively make whatever shirts and other gifts and items from Michigan and Ann Arbor that you might need.
If I make a mistake, I heard that it's okay to make mistakes. My name is Justin Gibson. I work with Sandler Training here in Ann Arbor, and typically we work with companies that are either tired of cutting prices or they're just trying to find qualified leads for their business.
And I am a full-time student. I go to Pullman College in Maine, and I'm taking a year off. And the last 2 summers I interned at Ann Arbor Radio and Pack Mode Media. And I heard this was the place to be, so I stopped by. This is my first time here.
Hi, my name is Rick Peter, and I'm a landscape architect, owner of Ecological Edge LLC. Do designs mainly to attract nature to someone's land. So using a lot of native plants and that kind of thing to increase the numbers of birds and other things that people like to have around their house.
My name is Kathy Clark, and I work for a nonprofit in Northville. It is New Hope Center for grief support, and we offer bereavement support for people suffering loss of loved ones. And we just got a new website and looking to expand our social media, so that's why I'm here today.
Hi, I'm Jane Delancey with Delancey Design. We do marketing for small businesses and solopreneurs. Looking for one website development, or maybe a PowerPoint presentation help, or reports.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
I think I enjoyed your presentation today. One of the key elements that you brought out, and I think it's great for solopreneurs, I've been a solopreneur since 1984, is that personal development, working harder on yourself than you do your job. My name is Dr. Thomas Blackwell. I'm principal owner of Impel International. We do training and development, and we're looking for people who are into sales and marketing. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm David Sir Williams. I'm also part of Impel. This is my stepdad here, and I'm a full-time student as well.
My name is Bill Kirschbaum. I am in text writing. I am a technical writer and web content writer. My clients are small businesses that want to make sure their customers get the best experience possible out of their product and also with their company. And I want to wish all of the engineers a happy Pi Day tomorrow.
My name is Steve Hicks. I am a freelancer. I do WordPress web design for small businesses and also assist small businesses with online marketing, so any type of email marketing, social media, and putting a plan together that makes sense for your business.
I'm Ed Vilmeny. I'm self-employed, which means these days working on the book that I'm writing about the Michigan Freedom of Information Act, as well as some project management that I'm doing with some other technical companies, startups. As Derek mentioned, I organize a lunch on Thursdays. We're losing our lunch spot, so I'm really sad about that. But I'm looking forward to trying out every restaurant in the area that can seat 12 people. So if you know someone who has a restaurant that can seat a dozen comfortably for a networking event, please come up to me later.
Hi, I'm Trisha Hakatica. I'm a Public Relations Master's student and an intern at Ingenix.
Hi, Tina Walter from Arbor Marketing. We basically meet with our clients to decide, we take a look at their marketing wheel. We help them keep the wheel going, but we also take a look and see if they need to add some new spokes to the wheel to keep them competitive.
I'm Mindy Matthews, and I do photography for Google. What I'm doing is bringing Street View inside your business, and we're doing virtual tours to businesses locally.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Stevens. I'm with Snap Office. We are a manufacturer of office furniture. We're focused on small business, and we do complete space planning and design and sell direct to the consumer. We're the only manufacturer that does that. So right out of the gate, we save 30% or more. And we do it in real time over the internet. So we send you a WebEx link and we can load your plan and show you your space and your products and anything you want to see of how your office would be laid out right before your eyes. So check us out at snapoffice.com. Thanks.
Hi everybody, my name is Jim Musial and I work in web and mobile development. I work with both small and large companies to help with their digital strategy. And it took the engineer next to me to tell me what he meant by tomorrow's Pi Day. But in that same vein, today is 313 Day, and our good friends Terry Bean and Charlie Wolberg, they're hashtagging hashtag 313D Love today to say something nice about Detroit. So if you're on Twitter, jump on there. There's a lot going on with that. So thanks.
I thought you just said you like Pi Day because we're going to have pie. That's what we love, Pi Day. I'm Stacy with Dollar Bill, your local digital print shop. We love to do jobs very fast and save you money.
I'm Holly Flynn with Carnival Cruise Lines. I'm looking to meet businesses that would like to do a sales incentive from their employees.
You heard from me earlier, just a reminder about signing up today to get the discount, but what I wanted to mention and reinforce was what Derek said. You can download Happy Hour for iPhone, and if you can't download it right now or you know somebody that has an iPhone but not you, you can come get a card printed by Dollar Bill Printing. So thank you to Stacy for those, and come get those. You'd find out if you had the app that right now you can go down the street to Venology, who has half off glasses of wine right now, and goes till 7 o'clock.
They got pie?
Or some dessert. They make their own little shakes that are really cool. Or if you just want to hang out at Connor's, happy hour starts at 4, so you can do that too.
You forgot to say who you were, Tom.
Oh, Tom Crawford, don't introduce myself further.
Hi, I'm Shannon Kolitz. I'm an animator and I own a video and animation production company here in Ann Arbor. We specialize in short, web-ready videos.
I'm Roger Rayle. I do video here and a bunch of other networking groups, and I'll probably do all of A2B3 tomorrow to document the last time at Eastern Texas. Also, I started a Ann Arbor video interest group, A2VIG. We have our third meeting tonight at the back room of Cubs AC, bowling alley, Colonial Lanes, yeah. A2VIG.org if you want to sign up to RSVP or learn about the group. If you need video or if you do video in any way, this is a growing group. And Carter will be there again.
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm an intern at Nginx Digital Marketing.
Hi, my name is Lauren Schneider. I'm the social media coordinator at Nginx and also one of your live tweeters.
And I'm Erin O'Neill. I'm the content producer at Nginx Digital Marketing and one of the LA2M live tweeters.
Hi, I'm Emily Walsh. I'm a senior at Michigan State University and also an intern at Nginx.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou. I'm with LA2M. Thanks for coming out today. It's snowing, darn it. And it was so nice last week. But we're going to have a great time next week as well, so I hope you come back for that. And also, if you know of someone who is a very interesting and effective speaker you'd like to suggest to us for our speaker lineup, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leslie McGraw with Let's Go Social Media Marketing and Training. So if you go to any site online, probably I am Let's Go For It. So LESGO, the number 4IT. And I love how Tom used the co-marketing method to help. I love Venology and other small business and stuff. I have one quick ask, and that is, who here goes to the Ann Arbor Summer Festival? Yay! Okay, so I'm the volunteer coordinator with the Festival Greeter program, and we're looking for teams. So we have, community volunteers that come out and help greet people, and just kind of ask for or solicit donations to keep it free. But we have teams that that compete to win a beer tent. it's really a coveted prize, believe me. But if either your business, or maybe a couple friends that all have businesses, like could, say, you all are in one strip mall, or, all in one category, you can all come together as a team. Just let me know.
This group.
Yeah, the LA2M, that's right. Yeah.
Carter Sherline, Crockett Studios. I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer. And I noticed me shooting a flash off in your faces. There'll be images up on the group's Facebook page. I shoot a lot of running in Michigan Runner Magazine, so a photographer. If any of you are runners, I have some samples of the magazine, the current magazine. The Michigan athlete was process of beating Michigan State in the dual meet a few weeks ago. And I also have some Dexter Ann Arbor applications. Actually, the founder of Dexter Ann Arbor was sitting here a little while ago. Their employer, but he took off. So that's a coincidence that I happen to have those with me.
All right, thanks everybody. It is 1 o'clock, Farmer Jack savings time. Yeah, time to save on social media marketing anyways, I'm Derek Harmon, CEO of Jack's Digital Marketing. You already know me. Next week we have a good speaker. I mean, we had a good speaker this week, but next week we have a good speaker too. So Charlie Wahlberg is going to be here talking about visual storytelling and content marketing. So that's going to be fun. Everybody likes Charlie Wahlberg. So let's do our final send off. And we'll see you next week, and go make some money, and let's give Leslie one big round of applause.
Pretty well said.